Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Asyhadu an la ilaha illallah wa asyhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu amma ba'du. Hello everyone. My name is Alia Sanaya Ulfa. Here I will tell about story of Abu Bakr as-Shidiq. Umar bin Khattab was the second Caliph of the Muslim Ummah and the first Muslim leader to be called the Commander of the Faithful. After the death of Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, his closest friends Abu Bakr became his successor and lead Muslims for around 2 years. When Abu Bakr felt his own death approaching, he gathered his closest friends and advisors around him and informed them that their alliance to him was over. Abu Bakr hoped that these men would choose his successor from among themselves. However, after much discussion about Abu Bakr, companions returned to him and asked to him choose for them, for they trusted his choice beyond questions. Abu Bakr chose Umar. Some of the men around Abu Bakr voiced their concurred that Umar, now to be a very harsh and thorough man, would be too hard on the people. Abu Bakr responded by saying that he considered Umar to be the best among them. Despite the initial reservation among some men of Medina, Umar was appointed as the second caliph of the Muslim. He began his reign by addressing the people and immediately explaining his expectation for himself. Umar knew the people were worried of his reputation for thoroughness and addresses this issue. Said, "Oh people, now that I have been appointed to govern your affairs, so recognize that my rudeness is no weakness, but I will continue to be rude and harsh on the people of oppressions and transgressions, and will put their cheeks into the dirt. Know also that I will put my own cheeks into the dirt to defend the people of pity." Umar went on to explain to the people that he would take nothing from what their land produced or from the spoils of war except what God or denied, and that he would only spend that money in a way that was pleasing to God. Umar was actually aware of the importance of financial justice and that he would be held accountable for every penny or dirham that belonged to be Muslim Ummah. Umar also informed the people that he would increase their salaries and provisions and guard their borders. The young Muslim nation that Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his companions has worked so hard to establish was an ummah unlike no other. Benefits were paid to every member of the ummah from the Muslim treasury. It was not necessary to be a government employee. The wealth of the ever-expanding nation was shared equally. Umar did not institute this. He was merely following the already established way of the predecessor, but he didn't promise to increase the payments. Umar also promised not to send the Muslim armies into destructions, meaning that he would not send the armies out unless the risks were evaluated and deemed acceptable. He promised not to keep the soldiers away from their families for an extended period and reassured the men that while they were away fighting for the Muslim Ummah, and if they did not return, he, the Caliph, would be father of the children and their character of the wives. Umar believed the role of the leader was to protect the people. The concept seems very unusual nowadays when we see presidents and prime ministers surrounded by bodyguards and willing to trample over anyone to protect themselves and their power. Umar bin Khattab, although he was the leader of an empire, never felt it necessary to have a bodyguard. He walked the street of Madinah like any ordinary citizen, even at night. In fact, it was during the nights that he roamed the street checking up on those under his protection and unusually disturbing charity. One of the years of Umar's reign came to be known as the Year of Ashes. This year was a great test for the Muslim Ummah. It was a time of drought and famine when the wine was also hot is burned the skin as if with hot ashes. Meat, butter, and milk become unavailable, and the people excited on little more than dry bread sometimes dipped in oil. Umar took an oath that he would not eat or drink anything that was not available to the people. Even when foodstuffs became available in the markets again, Umar refused to buy them for inflated prices. He was heard saying, "How I can be concrete about and understand my own subjects if I'm not going through the same trials that they go through." Umar considered himself an ordinary Muslim, but history has recorded that he was anything but ordinary. Umar was strong physically and spiritually. He was generous, noble, and life of humility. Umar followed in the footsteps of the beloved Prophet Muhammad. May the mercy and blessing of God be upon him. He followed his example and upheld his traditions. Umar's whole being was focused on pleasing God. He feared God's punishment but hoped the paradise. Umar was able to distinguish between the truth and falsehood. He felt pain when the Ummah or any member of it was hurting, and he felt joy when those under his care were content and happy, worshipping their Lord. Lord Umar was one of four rightly guide caliphs. Even today, he continues to be a role model for strength, justice, love, and mercy. So enough for me about tell Abu Bakr as-Siddiq. So thank you for watching. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.